everybody. My name is TeriGigi or Terry Reynolds, and I'm here to do a self-publishing video. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a video I've wanted to do ever since I self-published my first book, well, my only book so far. And I'm going to give you some tips and just some of the knowledge that I gained. And I'm going to be trying to be making the video that I wish I had had when I started getting ready to publish my book. Now this video is going to kind of be starting at the point where you think your book is finished and kind of ready to start putting it online or going through that process. So here we go. I'm going to be looking at my notes I've taped to my tripod because I don't want to leave anything out. First, let me say this. It's harder than you think it is. For me, at least, it was harder than I thought it would be because I'd heard so many people say, you know, you just pop it online, takes 10 minutes, it'll be fine, it'll be perfect, blah, blah, blah. That was not my experience. And I consider myself semi-tech savvy only because I have a YouTube channel and a blog and all those kinds of things. So I do know something about the internet and things like that. But this process was much harder than I anticipated and took longer than I anticipated. The number one thing I would tell you is to get advice. For instance, this video will be giving you some advice. I would suggest you watch a couple videos of people that are giving self-publishing advice. If there's any authors that you know, either I shouldn't say real authors, either self-published authors or traditionally published authors. If you know, or if you're lucky enough to know any, get some advice from them. You're certainly free as well to ask questions of me in the comments. I had two people that I was able to email and ask questions about that were both kind of published. They had been self-published and traditionally published, and I got a lot of good advice. And I will be sharing that advice along the way. Take your time, do your research, ask others for advice, and that will serve you very well. Tip number 2 is it costs money. Unless you just know how to format your book and do all these other things and do your cover and you are completely confident in your editing skills, this costs money if you want to do it right. Oh my gosh, I forgot to show you my book. I have it right here waiting. This is the book I self-published, Marie Antoinette and the Hidden Door of Versailles by Terry Reynolds. I would love it if you would order a copy. It's available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. As you can see, it's a beautiful book. I'm really, really proud of it. But I could not have done this on my own. It's perfectly formatted. It's got font, extra font in it. It's just, I love it so much. I'm so proud of it. But if I had tried to do all that on my very own, by myself, it would not have turned out like this. Okay. So here's some of the costs that you might come up against. Number 1, some of the advice I got from those authors that I asked was, ask them, what would you do? What are some of the things that you did or did not do that you regretted? One of the authors said, get it professionally edited. When she published her first book, it had some spelling errors, and of course everyone was sure to point those out in the reviews and everything and comments and stuff. And she said she was really embarrassed, but still a traditional publisher picked her book up, and now she's writing the 4th one in this series. So, and that, by the way, is Jennifer L. Scott, who writes the Madame Chic series. Her YouTube channel is The Daily Connoisseur. She told me, get it edited. Tracy Porter is another person that I watch on YouTube, and I followed her for years. She's a designer, you know, she does all kind of home decor and things. She has many books, of which I have some right here, that she got published through the traditional publishing realm years ago. Well, now she started writing novels, and no one would publish them. Even though she was a proven, you know, author, nobody would publish her novels. So guess what? She did it herself. And she and her husband told me the same thing. Get it professionally edited, even though it cost money. I had given my book, I had gone through my book. I had had different people read my book. I'd had my daughter go through and edit my book. My husband read my book. There were still mistakes that the professional editor found. She was worth her weight in gold. And I know she made my book a better book. She did. There's many different kinds of editors. So do your homework. Again, look up different kinds of book editors. Some do grammar and spelling. Some do mechanics. Some do storyline and all that kind of thing. So figure out what you need. But do not hire an editor to edit your book until you are 100% sure that it's the very, very best it can be. And let me tell you why. Because you send your book to the editor and she sends it back or he sends it back. And you probably will have notes. They're not going to actually correct your book, but they're going to make notes of all the things they find that they think you should change. And so you have to go in and change it. Well, every time you touch your document, you could make another mistake. So do not send a document that needs to be rewritten to a spelling and grammar editor at the end. Do you know what I'm saying? Wait till you're ready. Just make sure you have it the most perfect that you can, because you might have to get it edited again. If you mess with it, change it, move it around, you know, every time you touch that document, you can make a spelling error, okay? The next thing about cost of what I spent money on was formatting. When I originally started this process, you know, I took a little course on publishing your novel, formatting your novel. And they made it sound so easy. Just go on Create Space, hit a few buttons, download your document. No, it is not that easy unless you are an expert at Word document and you know exactly what you're doing. I had written on that same Word document for years through this book because I would work on my book and then put it away for 9 months and then work on the book, and well, don't even ask me. But I had it on that same Word document. And I could not get, if I moved something here, it moved something here. If I deleted this, I was so frustrated. I downloaded all these different tutorials on how to format your own book. Nightmare. Nightmare. Some of them were 4 steps, some of them were 17 steps, some of them were 27 steps. I was in tears, literally. Almost every night for a week when my husband was come home from work, and he was so mad. He goes, hire it done. Hire it done. That was the same. But I'm the cheapskate in the family. Long story short, I just went online one day and I started Googling formatting, you know, formatting your self-published novel or something. Or formatting services or something. I don't remember exactly what I Googled. Well, there were all different prices, y'all, from way high to real cheap. I didn't know what to do, but I kept researching and I kept clicking, and all of a sudden I clicked on this company named formattingexperts.com. That's the website. I'll link it in the description box, as well as my book will be linked in the description box if you want to order it. And I read all the information on that website, Formatting Experts, and everything sounded so good. The next morning, I went back, I reread everything. Well, this chat box thing popped up. And so I started chatting with this guy named Raphael. And he answered all my questions so professionally. I told him, I have this Word document. It's a mess. What do I need to do to it? He said, send it. I said, well, I know, but do I need to, you know, make sure it's all in good order? I mean, the chapters were in order, obviously. He goes, no, send it. That's our job. Just send the document. If it's ready to go, send the document, you know. Anyway, he answered all my questions so very patiently, and then he even sent me a copy of the transcript. You know, he emailed me a transcript of our talk, and by the next morning, I said, I'm doing it. I'm going anyway. So they took my book. Oh my gosh, y'all. I can't say enough good things about this company. They took my book and they produced a beautiful, beautiful book. They even ended up doing my cover. And a cover is so very important. And do you know, I get 2 comments about my book that almost every single person that reads it. The cover is beautiful, and I couldn't put it down because I wrote it in a way that makes them want to go to the next chapter. I did that on purpose, and it worked. So everyone says the same thing. But this book looks so beautiful. They did the paperback, and they did my ebook. Totally different formatting. My ebook is beautiful. It looks good. My husband always reads on Kindle, and he went through it, and he goes, it's got all the bells and whistles. They did a fantastic job. Y'all, I can't say enough about that company. If you want to get your book professionally formatted, I highly, highly recommend them. They even found spelling errors through whatever process they put your book through. Raphael explained everything to me 100 times, y'all. I know there's a dartboard in the office with my picture on it because I drove them crazy. But they were so very helpful and wonderful. And I told Raphael later that I was going to do a video on the company, and he said, well, tell people that if they want to hire us to format their book and do their cover, that they might give you a little break on the price if you tell them that Terry Reynolds sent you, or TeriGigi sent you to them. Just let them know. And, you know, speak to Raphael. He is wonderful. And Jacob, someone named Jacob, did my cover for me. So that was awesome. Highly recommend. Another thing that will cost money is if you want to do a Facebook ad or something like that. Most people suggest you have your own website. That costs money. So I'm just trying to tell you that different things cost money. And if there's anything I talk about that you want me to expand on, leave it in the comments and I will do another video. Okay, so that's cost. Tip number 3. The sad truth of it is there's not a lot of money in writing. You don't make a lot of money per book or per ebook. So you have to love what you're doing. It's just an investment, you know, the formatting, the cover, all those different things, the editing. It's an investment. So you have to think. And I have not even close to made my investment back yet. My book's been out a month. I haven't made my money back. I don't know if I ever will. But there's other things besides that money that comes into play. And opportunities might come up as a result of your book. Opportunities that I have had presented to me is, you know, my book's on Marie Antoinette, and I am a frequent traveler to Paris. Well, lady Mimi from the magazine Belle Inspirations, it's an online magazine, her and I now are talking about doing a trip together, a joint, you know, trip for women to come to Paris, and she'll do her thing, I'll do my Marie Antoinette stuff, you know, we'll do activities surrounding, you know, flea markets and all those kind of things, and I'll do some activities about Marie Antoinette, such as going out to Versailles. We're going to do it all together. So there's a big opportunity for me that came about as a result of the book. Another thing that has come up is I'm hoping to write a regular column in her Belle Inspiration magazines maybe, or even just an article. So that's another opportunity that came up because of my book. Well, anytime I do that, my name in my book is going to be in a magazine that has quite a few readers. So that's an opportunity that came up. Another opportunity that I'm personally looking into is freelancing through the internet. Now that I am a published author, I can point to that, and maybe I'll get hired to do some freelance writing. So there are more ways to generate income. Backtrack to Formatting Experts. They taught me not to just put it on CreateSpace. That was my original thought. That's the only thing I kind of knew was CreateSpace. They taught me how to do it on CreateSpace. They taught me how to do Kindle Direct Publishing. They taught me to use Ingram Sparks. They taught me to use Draft to Digital. Things I would have never, ever known, and my book would not have had near as wide of a reach without that. So that was another thing that Formatting Experts were so wonderful, was just really tutoring me through this thing, you know. So many emails, so much help. I can't even talk about it. I mean, they are wonderful. Okay. Tip number 4, or another thing you might not really realize before you publish your first book, is you have to self-promote. That's very difficult for some people. I'm getting better at it. I was interviewed online. I had an author interview, and that's really, you know, telling people, this is a great book, you need to order it. That's kind of hard to do. But, you know, you aren't asking them to invest $100. You're asking them to invest a few dollars in entertainment, kind of. This book is very entertaining, you know. And so you're not asking them to do a lot. So go ahead and self-publish, self-promote your book, and just enjoy it. And don't apologize for not being a traditionally published author, because as you know, things are changing. The world is open to everybody to do everything. You can be, you know, make videos online, for goodness sake, you know. The world has changed, and there's not just a few people in charge of what the public sees. We're all in charge of what the public sees. So keep that in mind. Self-promotion. You need an author website. I used Wix. Not sure if that was the greatest decision, but you need an author website. I'm using that as a blog platform. You can promote it on Facebook. You can do an author, an Amazon author page. See, there's a lot of things that you have to think about before the book comes out. You have to think about all these things. So you should be making a list. I should have told you that. Okay, number 5, always be working on your next book. Because I think one way to make money off of writing is to keep writing books. Because guess what? When I put out my next book, it's totally different. It's about the beach. It's a beach book, love story. But when they see that book, if that's what they're interested in, they're going to see this book. And if they like that book, they might think, well, I'll give this one a shot. Because someone that wants to read a romantic beach read is not going to pick this book up. This is kind of a niche audience. But now these people that have read this, that either read it because they thought it looked interesting, or they like Marie Antoinette, or they like French history, or whatever, when they see my beach book, they'll think, oh, you know, I enjoyed this book. I think I'll order that beach book. So see how that can happen. And then what if you have 3? What if you have 4 books? Then you might start generating some money that counts. So anyway, I guess that's all I have today to say, other than good luck with your journey. I hope this video helped you. If I left anything out, if you have any additional questions, leave a comment. Okay, my camera just ran out of batteries. I don't know where I left off. So I'll just say again, I hope this video was helpful, and ask any questions you have in the bottom bar, and order my book because it's really good. See, that was self-promotion.